All right, so this is me, sort of. Back in 2007, I was living in Holland, where I'm from, and I had a job. I had a good company, had a good job, made nice money, reputable, but I just felt something wasn't right. I was not doing something I was passionate about, and I was actually not solving real-world problems. I was making money for a boss, I didn't care, I didn't know, so I had to change something. I knew that. So when I decided to come to Switzerland, actually for the reason of love, because my wife is Swiss, I decided to take an education, because education is a way, usually, to find a more meaningful career. And through the University of St. Gallen, I actually found a meaningful career. I'm very happy with where I am right now. But it wasn't the university that got me there. What got me there was this student organization called Oikos. It was a fledgling smaller group when I got to know it by coincidence. And there I got to actually build stuff. I got to create real activities, events, workshops. And I learned so much through that. I learned you can actually create your own work if you really know how. And with the Impact Hub, what we try to do is we try to create a better economy for a world that works for all. But doing this for 6 years now, we realize you're not going to change the world just by working with the economy. You actually have to go through education, because education is the one thing that all of us actually go through. But education has a problem. It is a system designed in the 19th century with the 20th century in mind, yet today we're in the 21st century, and actually we're educating leaders for the 22nd century. So there's a 400-year gap. And education back then was designed to create compliant workers. So people to actually do repetitive tasks. But the world is very different these days. We live in the so-called VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, etc. Did you know, for example, that about a third of the jobs that we have today didn't exist as little as 6 years ago? So back in the days when the system was designed, we were educated to create value. Value in order to solve basic human needs, health, education, etc. And that was what was needed back then. But nowadays, I argue, what we need is not more wealth. What we need is actually to educate people to solve real-world problems, problems that matter, such as the Sustainable Development Goals. Now just imagine an education that actually empowers you as individuals to work on solving some of these problems. In order to do that, such as most people go to university to study. But university as an institution is not actually meant to help you prepare for your career, but it is a place of research where it's about knowledge. And their theory of knowledge is that it's a commodity that can be transferred from one head to the next. Just look at this image. 500 bright people in one room, all focused on one head, literally one head that has the knowledge that goes out to you. Even though today it doesn't work like that anymore. Knowledge is literally a thumb away. Just going on your Google and you can find all knowledge. What matters is actually how you deal with that knowledge. It's about asking the right questions. It's about knowing your personal instincts, your skills. It's about what we call knowledge you cannot Google. So to summarize, we need a different education system where we actually educate creators to solve real-world problems. We need an education system that is actually individual, that goes with your learning. And luckily, we at Impact Hub, we have a vision for such an education system. And it is one that centers around you, your personal needs, your passion, what you can create and bring to the world. It starts with the why, so solving real-world problems. And it centers around actions. Instead of case studies, creating real-world activities and actually learning from doing that. And this is what we call Stride. It is our new spin-off. And it's a 1-year on-school for entrepreneurial leadership, where you can actually learn to create your own meaningful work. With Stride, you do not apply with an idea. You apply with attention and passion, and we help you to turn that into a real idea. And together with your class, you will actually implement that, look for real customers, and the deep learning and personal transformation happens around that experience of actually starting a venture. As I mentioned, it's a 1-year program, at least 50% of your time commitment. Your learning campus is not some university up on a hill, but it's actually here. The Impact Hub is your learning campus. This community is where you learn from. Now remember me at that desk. Through coincidence, I lived something what I would call the future of education. And through this, I found a meaningful career and a place I'm happy with. And my passion and our vision at Stride is actually to empower everybody to go through that path. And I would just like to leave you with that thought. Just imagine a world where not just you, but 7 billion people are learning to solve real-world problems. Imagine a learning world that works for all. Thank you very much.